Yeah.
We are now recording Friday, April 7th, 2017. Small Business Accounting Advisors. Hello.
Hello.
And Linda, you have something to share with us?
I have something to share. Let me share my screen. I actually adopted a rescue kitty this week, and I came up with a name for the kitty. Because the kitty, let's see. Share screen. Ta-da!
Okay.
Isn't that a pretty kitty?
Aww.
Yeah, that's the kitty. Now let me see if I can scroll.
She has lots of Is it a she?
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's a girl, and it's a small cat. It is a cat. It's been spayed. It was actually brought in by a woman who lived on the other side of town. And she thought it was a kitten, but the vet said no, it had been spayed and everything. It's just small. It's about 5 pounds.
Wow.
Kind of adorable. And this is, see the picture of it? It's like a calico cat.
She is beautiful. And you know what? I would classify her as a calico. Calico means 3 colors. She's got it. She's got the golden, she's got the brown, and she's got the white.
Yeah, and so to me, and she looks got like the raccoon tail or the tiger tail, so I think she's like a calico. I have named her the Shadow.
Oh, nice.
Because when she walks through the room, as you can see, she kind of blends with the carpet.
She sure does.
Like, was that a shadow I just saw? And I used to listen to the radio show.
Oh, the 40s.
Right.
You know, and
the Shadow knows.
One day there was they told amazing radio stories, and it was like you would listen to these stories and it was like you were right there.
That was a whole different era. I don't think you can get kids to sit still long enough today to do that.
Yeah, they might not. But anyway, so she disappeared Wednesday night about between 10 and 11, and then she magically reappeared last night between 10 and 11.
Huh.
So
well, she's spayed, right?
She's spayed. She's really a sweet kitten, a little timid, a little shy, and she's getting used to my dog. But
so what's her history? Why is she at the rescue? Was she just abandoned?
Well, nobody really knows. She doesn't have a chip. She didn't have a collar when she showed up. She might have been, well, somebody must have owned her if she was spayed.
Yeah. Right. And you know what? When rescue shelters capture a cat and spay them, they clip off their ears. So, I know people that have gotten cats like that. They look like they have square ears. Well, that's a shelter that's taken a wild cat that they've gotten off the street and spayed it. So a regular person must have taken care of her.
Well, yeah, it was a regular person, and she's a friend of mine. And that's how, when I was at breakfast, I was sharing, I decided, it's been 2 weeks, and Grace does seem a little lonely. And I'd just as soon get a cat as a dog. And Grace likes cats. So that's where I'm at right now.
Well,
so
how are they working out together?
Well, Grace really wants to play with the cat. And so I kind of have to control Grace right away until things settle down. So I'm keeping them apart right now, which is part of my personal problem because it's difficult for me to be with 2 animals at the same time if I'm trying to keep them apart.
Right.
And it turns out the gate that I use to keep Grace from coming into the living room is no barrier to the cat. The cat
absolutely.
No. And the cat just walks around the corner. But I just figure it's going to take time.
Right.
And I don't know. I'm hoping to get the cat back this evening and to have enough doors shut that I can then come through and shut the dog door. Because that's how she's going in and out right now.
Oh, got it.
Yeah. So thank God she has not brought any friends back with her already.
Or presents.
Yeah, not yet. So anyway, but she does know where I am, and I think she'll be back tonight. And it's supposed to rain tomorrow, so I'm gonna try to get her in.
Right.
So we'll just see. I think it'll work out really well. It would be probably hard for a lot of people because this cat has been used to. It had been an outside cat evidently for a long time before this lady took it in, took it to the vet, got it all cleaned up and everything. She had it about a month. But
Okay.
the cat is housebroken in that it walks to the door and puts its paw on the door when it needs to go out.
Okay. Well, you have to be a little vigilant with that because, like, there's no hearing, like, you know, dogs will bark or, you know, scratch at something. You just have to watch the cat.
I guess, but for right now, I don't because I've got a dog door with no flap on it. So
she goes in and out as she wants.
Yeah, unless I put the thing down, and I'm going to try to do that tonight until she gets used to being inside a little bit. You know, I don't mind if she's outside a lot, really, if that's what she wants, but I would like her to be comfortable inside as well, especially.
Right.
So, anyway, so that's good. So what did Dennis in north of Seattle? Was it Everett? Where are you exactly north of Seattle?
Probably halfway between Everett and Seattle. It's called Linwood, South Snohomish County. Are you familiar with the area?
No, but Snohomish County I recognize.
Yeah, it's like about 20 miles north of downtown Seattle, which I try to avoid like the plague.
Well, I would guess it's very crowded down there. That's
Well,
like, I don't want to count down LA.
They've got all this construction going on. I've just been amazed how many buildings are going up.
Yeah.
Nice. That means
the $15 an hour minimum wage hasn't really hurt anything.
As far as I know, I have one client that's a restaurant. They weren't really that happy with it. I'm not sure if they put people on salary or what.
Okay.
But
I guess that's one way of getting around it.
Well, you've got to be very careful about that because with the new rules, and I don't know with Trump in there, but with the new rules that they had when Obama went in, and that's part of what the whole thing was December 1st was all about, is that if you paid somebody on salary less than like $45 or $46, you had to pay them overtime anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's been pretty rainy and windy the last couple of days out here, so it's been typical Seattle weather. Great for doing tax returns, though. It's
That's right. Bad weather does do that to you.
Yeah, just as long as the power doesn't go out, it's great.
That's true. So, Dennis, have you filed your extension yet?
I filed my extension. I never filed my returns till like September and October.
I remembered that from last year.
Yeah.
It's sort of my tradition. My tradition is usually like October 13th or 14th. I don't want to do it to the very last minute just in case
and hope the power doesn't go out on you.
Yeah, God forbid.
Well, you must be very, very sure of what that tax return is going to say.
Yeah, it's actually mine's pretty simple compared to some people. I've got some clients that are got pretty crazy returns. So
I'm sure. Well, we can talk about.
I've got this link that I could.
Oh, okay. Well,
it shows the. Let's see. Share your screen.
New QuickBooks Online Practice Manager.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Have you tried it?
No.
Dennis,
it isn't out yet.
Okay.
Are you seeing it? I mean, I'm just.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It was on Man this morning, Joe Woodard's, and it looks like a calendar to me.
Okay.
And can you see my mouse pointing or trying to point?
Yes, a little. It's bouncing. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got three screens, and sometimes it sticks between the different screens, but
right.
It looks like what you can do is you can filter on the different clients. And I'm not quite sure how this gets in here, if that's something you manually input or what, or, if it's something the system picks up. He didn't really go into details. It's kind of like the first iteration. And they don't have all the functionality, and they're supposedly going to improve it. And so, but I could see where it'd be helpful to like I said, it looks like a calendar to me, and you can kind of see where the deadlines are. The rationale was that accounting and bookkeeping is pretty deadline driven, and that,
you think?
yeah, and so you want to be able to sort of recycle your to-do list or whatever. So
Right.
rather than, and so I guess that's what this does. Like I said, I was on chat with ITO trying to get a problem solved, but at the same time I was trying to watch the
Oh,
mail.
got it.
So I was sort of.
So you were on hold for a long time.
Well, actually, not. It was with ITO. I mean, with there was a problem with. The thing about Intuit Tax Online is that sometimes it's not really that intuitive as to, and the documentation kind of sucks. It's getting better, but I had to put in a override because it was like on an HSA form.
Right.
Was assuming that my client made an extra $1,000 contribution and was causing a lot more taxable income, and in reality he didn't, and there was like an override where you had to put it in a -1.
Right.
But it wasn't really clear that you had to do that. I mean, and so that's the thing I don't particularly like about the tax online, is that sometimes it's not all that clear as to what you should be doing. So I have to call chat. They're pretty good. The chat's pretty good. I mean, their support's pretty good, but it's a hassle having to go in and, and I always chat. I don't call them on the phone because I want a record of what we talked about.
Oh, yeah. Print that out and you have it. Right.
Yeah,
That's what I like about chat.
Yeah, I never try to call them, or I very rarely try to call if chat's available, because I want some sort of, just in case they screw it up and I have to,
written record.
And I don't want to go through the whole thing again. So
right, exactly.
So anyway, I can see the verbiage was founded 34 years ago, and blah 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 blah. Practice management feature, and Linda, what I was commenting on is that I don't really trust Intuit, in terms of when they have these new products, especially if I've got a system in place that's working for me, that
absolutely
I don't want to take a risk that they may pull the plug on it a year or 2 years down the road, and then, plus they're competing against people that are established and probably have more functionality. So,
well, you have the perfect. I mean, you have Zoho.
Yeah.
So you could do a comparison very easily.
Yeah.
Now, is this going to be free?
Supposedly, right now it is.
There, you got a point there too.
I got to believe they're spending all this money on, the online, and I got to believe at some point in time they're going to start charging for this.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Maybe a year, 2 years from now, if they decide to keep going with it, but I just can't see it being free forever.
Right.
Especially and supposedly you can use the keep track of your desktop in here too, your desktop QuickBooks.
Oh,
so
okay.
if you don't have something, I guess it would be no harm in doing it, but I don't drink the Intuit Kool-Aid, that's for sure.
I'd be willing to try it out, see how I personally like Trello. I like checklist, and I like the ability to copy the checklist month after month. We're monthly bookkeeping clients.
That's what I say. I mean, they are in the business of accounting software. They're not in the business of practice management.
Right.
So,
but you have all the information there, and if they could pull it out, it would be wonderful.
Yeah, and like I say, if it's somebody that is just new to QuickBooks, it'd be great. But I don't see it being that enticing to switch if you're already got something that's working pretty well for you. There's a cost to learning too. I mean, like I use Zoho Zoho because I've gotten pretty efficient with it, and I would hate, and I've got a lot of data accumulated. I'd hate to have to, try to another, learning curve for
something else. And that kind of data is not the kind of thing that you can throw in an Excel sheet and download it to another program.
Yeah, so that's going to be the inertia I think that Intuit's going to face, is it trying to get people that have existing systems to try to entice them into sort of abandoning that.
Right.
I mean, you might be able to run parallel. I don't know how mean, if it's something where you can pull from your Google Calendar, yeah, why not? You know, but if it's
Right.
something you have to do extra work to get, then yeah, I don't know.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how it works. I mean, if it pulls from, if all this smart, intelligent stuff can happen, and it can pull from your databases, and it can pull from your Google Calendar and tie things together, it could be, I could see how it could be valuable.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the calendar.
But, yeah, I'm thinking of, you know, if I have people working on databases, does it have like teams that you?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I say, it's the first iteration, and it sounds like they're planning on adding more functionality. And so I would presume they've done some beta testing with it.
Right, right.
But
Oh, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, sounds kind of like the client manager that they had, but with some extra things like checklists.
yeah,
And calendar oriented.
yeah, they're talking about workflow. So
Okay. Okay.
it looks like you can color code it.
That does look like Google Calendar there.
Yeah, maybe that is. Let's see.
Yeah, it's a little small for me to see. I can't see the print, but
Yeah, I wonder if I can try to expand it.
okay. So we have a
Very
weekly
good.
planner.
There you go.
Yeah.
And then
can do
on
that
the
in Chrome,
left-hand
you know.
side, what is that? That looks like a spreadsheet. That looks like an Excel sheet.
Yeah.
And
it
then
looks,
that's Google Calendar.
yeah, this looks like, yeah. So maybe, I think they're illustrating what people are using right now. So it's finding the work to be done and selecting tasks, switching
Right.
back and forth. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they would have to put smart sheets there instead of Excel.
Yeah. I think she's got it.
okay, so what is this?
It's pretty. I will say that.
Yeah.
I mean, the menus are very appealing,
Yeah.
very visually appealing.
You know, in Google Chrome, you can just do a Control Plus to expand the size to zoom in on the worksheets for the screen.
Oh, okay.
That's how I was doing that.
Got it.
Yeah, it's got new statements.
Yeah, I can't read the print. The print is too small on that. But
Yeah.
It's too blurred anyway.
okay. Okay. Almost a little bit. Okay, there's your QuickBooks Online account and all the things that you have on the left-hand side.
Yep.
And then you have your workflow as the home page. Well, no, you have your practice, clients, and work. I'm going to have to watch for that work. Are they rolling it out to everyone?
Supposedly they're rolling it out in the next couple of weeks. I don't know if it's going to be staggered. I got to believe it's going to be a staggered rollout. I can't imagine they're going to just throw it out
Hit
there
everybody all at once.
and let them crash the
I
system. you know?
can't either. And my own thought was, why would you do it on April 1st in the middle? And then the other thing is, April 1st through 15th is usually a zoo for a lot of the people in here. Not everybody, I get it.
Yeah.
But it's like, why would you throw something new into the mix at this time of the year? It makes no sense.
Oh, I used to get so mad into it when I used Pro Series for that reason.
Yeah, it's
We
like,
would, we would physically cut them off. No more updates from
that's right.
April 1st to April 15th. Even to this day, I have a new printer sitting on my floor that I will not install until after April 15th. No hardware gets upgraded, no updates, no nothing.
Yeah.
You don't need
Until
any
after April 15th. I want to make sure that I can still do the things that I need to do all the
no
way
excitement.
through that period.
Yeah, life's exciting enough without adding more excitement to it.
Miss Sarah Laidlaw cleared out her closet.
Wow. How do you know that?
Yeah, we should have had her with us today. I'm interested to find out all the fun stuff she had from years past.
Was that, are you a friend of hers on Facebook? Where did you hear that?
Yes, on Facebook.
I bet I'm not, because I didn't see any of that.
Or it just went by and you missed it.
Yeah.
Sometimes Facebook picks and chooses the things that you see.
I usually look at Facebook when I'm watching the news. I don't really look at that much during the day, except maybe like today when I needed to get the login.
Well, I've been on Facebook less and less, and not very much at all this week. Trying to get things done, trying to get caught up.
Yeah, I've been using HubDoc because they have HubDoc, and that's really interesting. The HubDoc is really organized the way somebody sets it up.
Okay. Okay, so are you using HubDoc with your holistic client?
Yeah, that's the one who has HubDoc. And I told her today, I said, we may or may not keep it, but I said, for right now, let's keep it until this woman that you're going to hire to do the same thing, to go fetch these statements. If it takes her longer, then I think she can take $15 an hour. So I said, if it takes her longer than an hour and a quarter to fetch these statements, the best bet is to just pay HubDoc.
Yep, exactly.
You know,
exactly. So it depends on how many statements.
Yeah. So we could let her check to make sure that the statements had come in, because I noticed when I went there today that the password wasn't working for the main bank account. And, you know, so I had to change that. And then it turns out we tried to change it so many times that the security just locked it up. Yeah. Oh my God. That's one of the things, is all these passwords. Oh,
I don't know what the answer, and even LastPass has its own little interesting curves too. So
yeah.
I use LastPass, but I make sure my LastPass password is like about 36 characters and letters, and so that, because you'd really be in big trouble if that ever got hacked.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Dennis, I'm going to have you unshare now.
Okay.
That's awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
I've got something else that I got from Nan, if you're interested.
Sure.
Okay, so I thought this was really interesting in Joe Woodard's presentation. Okay. You see the
okay.
circle?
Oh, I like that.
Pretty.
Yeah, it was really interesting. I mean, we have our monthly meeting, and it's usually like from like about 9 o'clock Pacific to about 10:30, and he has like a half hour. The last half hour is usually on practice management, and he's talking and this one woman, before she had a presentation on her like a voice of the member, and she was talking about how she set up and all that, and how she was going to become, you know, she wanted to take more clients on, but she didn't want to do a lot more work, or she was finding that in order to meet her financial goals, she had to work more hours. And so then she talked to this guy, this guru of, Ron, somebody, or it's the guru of fixed pricing. And so Joe Woodard's point is basically the way you get to that is that you have specialization, and that, you know, when you first start out, you sort of take anybody that's, you know, can fog up a mirror and who's willing to pay you. But as you get more involved with your career and your practice, you need to start specializing, which leads to standardization, which leads to efficiencies. And the way you achieve efficiencies is to automate. And then we haven't really talked about the other three yet, but I thought it was interesting that the way to do it is to really become a subject matter expert.
Well, there is that, but automation can happen and be on a broad spectrum too.
Yeah.
Because bookkeeping is bookkeeping.
Yeah.
You have income and you have expenses, and then you have a balance sheet.
Yeah. I think the thing about specialize is that you can add value other than just the accounting and bookkeeping, or how the account. Like I'm trying to specialize now in real estate, property management for small landlords and real estate agents because, one, I've got a background in that. I worked for the late great WAMU for 20 some odd years. And I worked for a title insurance company before that. So I'm pretty conversant with real estate as opposed to the average bookkeeper or accountant. So that way I can say, have you considered doing this, or especially in terms of trying to protect your assets or trying to save taxes. And so that's where I'm kind of trying to focus after tax season, is becoming more knowledgeable in that area. So
it's an excellent idea, actually. It's a good area to focus on right now.
Yeah. And
especially with buildings going up all over the place around you.
Yeah, well, I was thinking in terms of, plus, since I specialize in taxes, tax representation, and tax planning, I try to, make a sort of a cluster. And so you can get some synergy between those two areas.
Right. Absolutely.
I read one where it was like about 20, 30 years ago about becoming a cluster specialist, in the sense that you try to develop clusters of skills that have a unifying theme or themes, and so that you're not overly specialized, but you're not a generalist either. And so if you can, it kind of fits into I call it the rule of threes, where you don't want to try to do more than three major areas.
Right.
Unless you want to go absolutely nuts.
Hey, Misha.
Hello.
Hello.
How's Misha today?
I'm okay. I'm working on burying a cow.
The towel?
I'm working on burying a cow.
Oh, a cow. Okay, got it. Okay. Well, I don't know. My opinion right now is the automation is better in theory than it is in practice.
I think the key, to me, the key is it faster doing it by hand, or is it the amount of things you have to do to set up automation and maintain it? Is that going to eventually pay off?
It's the maintaining, and it's the doing what it's supposed to do. You get one little kink in there, and a bank site is down for a day, and you start getting double transactions downloaded, and unraveling that mess is very difficult and time consuming.
Yeah, time is a cost.
Absolutely. And I really don't think that the banks are there right now. I think they are dumbing down what they're doing as far as bringing in information for QuickBooks. I know I used to get way more information than what I do now. You would get, a payee, what account it goes to, whether it's a check, whether it's a credit card. You really basically these days get date and amount, and that's it. And the money came into the bank or the money went out of the bank. So I'm waiting for the banks to catch up. Okay. So Linda, would you like to talk about your holistic client?
Yeah, it's really interesting. She like duplicated everything 3, 4, 5, 6 times. And on the chart of accounts, the customers were the customers, and they were classes, and they were vendors, and oh my God. So it seems to be working, but it is a bit of a, we took over on March 15th.
Okay, so the Ides of March.
Like 2.5 weeks. So we're actually doing pretty well.
Good. Excuse me for just a moment. Dennis, can we stop screen sharing? Thank you.
Oh, right. Got it. Oh, then now we have big faces too. Oh, So yeah, I'm trying to clean up like the chart of accounts. She kind of will have a category, and then under the categories she has like a list of vendors.
Oh my goodness.
You know, all that. And so the chart of accounts, if you don't collapse it, it's like 10, 12 pages long. So we've really done a very good job of changing things around so that, and I'm putting all the long lines she has, I'm putting them underneath categories. Now, she has parking underneath auto expense as opposed to under travel. And that kind of surprised me a little bit.
I've seen it go both ways.
Okay.
Dennis? I'm sorry, Dennis, I muted you there. You were screwing your glass. Okay.
He was breathing? Oh, well.
I was going to say, I've seen it done both ways. The IRS doesn't really care one or the other.
Okay, I have a question though. What about interest? She has all the interest expense mixed. She has bank and merchant fees, and underneath that she has bank fees. She has merchant fees, which that's fine with me. She has PayPal fees, which is fine. She has direct deposit fees for when she's paying referral fees and directly depositing them into the bank. And then she also puts interest as a subcategory in there. And I always thought interest had to be set. Now they do have a C Corp. So maybe with a C Corp you can do that. What do you think?
Was it an expense or income?
No, it's interest expense. So
I always like to have interest expense separate so I can tie out the interest from the loans.
yeah.
You know, if you have more than one loan, you can, at the end of the year, tie all of the interest to what their statements say.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
And then everything else is banking fees, really.
It is. Yeah, and I don't mind having some.
And she separates them for just to know, or is there a reason? I mean, I try to be less complicated, like you said, and give the IRS what they need. And does she really need all of that breaking down of categories?
Right. I don't want to put everything together until I'm sure that that's fine.
Right.
What is her CPA asking her to do? What are the reports that she's running that she's trying to get and analyzed by having things set up the way she has? If she has them set up a certain way so she can run reporting, then that's a question you need to find out. Is it something that the CPA and her have worked out so that they can track whatever they need to track? Don't just assume somebody has done something a certain way because they don't know what they're doing. Ask the question and say, why are you doing it the way you're doing it? If they're coming back and saying, oh, I'm just a very anal person and I like to have things done a certain way, then that's when you would have the conversation and say, well, for financial reasons or for reporting reasons, do you need to have it that way? And then make corrections. Don't just say, this is not the way you're supposed to do it. Find out why they're doing it the way they're doing it, and then work with them to get it where it makes more sense and it's easier.
That makes a lot of sense. Except the person who was doing it had it was the bookkeeper. There is no CPA. We're going to be hiring one, another person that'll be the bookkeeper. I'm just helping her design the system right now. And
so the best option would be get the CPA involved, because the CPA needs certain things in order to file their taxes.
Right.
The chart of account sync up with what the CPA needs so that when you run the reports for the CPA,
perfect,
they make sense for filing the taxes. So you need to have a sit-down conversation with the bookkeeper, the CPA, and the owner to make sure that all are on the same page.
So they need to decide on people to do that then.
Yeah.
Well, they haven't yet, so.
So just willy-nilly doing it, you gotta have there needs to be a system, and in reality, the way you keep your books should allow you to easily file your taxes. or
Absolutely.
to get
I like
the reports you need to run your business.
I agree. I like to see a chart of accounts that reflects what's on the tax return. You know, as your main categories, and then have your subcategories under the main categories that you have to have for your tax return. I don't do corporate taxes, so although I can get the 1120C. Do any of you do corporate taxes?
I do, but I only do them for my own clients.
Got it.
I do, but very limited.
Yeah.
You have to be a very special person, and I kind of have a vetting process. I have to like you, and you have to be nice, moral, a character, ethical, and not a. I was going to say the D word, but I'm not.
Nisha, do they have to? Is it required that they have to wear kilts? I just want to clarify that.
Yes, potentially.
Oh, and they have to be very handsome.
Potentially, yes.
Hey, Larry. Hey, Joanne.
Hello.
Hey, Larry. Joanne, I haven't seen you since Jesus was a boy. How you doing, honey?
I've been seeing Joanne live everywhere. I think she's addicted.
I am addicted to YouTube live streaming.
She's bad.
I was on for 2 hours. I was on for 2 hours this morning, and everybody was saying you need to have your own morning show on YouTube.
There you go.
In competition with Rachel Ray.
She is hilarious, though.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what's happening in New York, Larry? You're muted.
It's actually cooler than I thought. I went out, I had to do some quick shopping, and I wore a light jacket thinking, you know, it's spring.
It's spring, right?
Supposedly.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not that cold. It's like 50, but somehow with the dampness in the air or whatever, it almost feels like it could snow.
Right, exactly. I was thinking that this morning myself. Darn, I want to keep that snow jacket put away.
It's snowing right now.
Oh, well, where you live, it's always snowing, Joanne.
Well, actually, Sunday it's supposed to be 75. So.
Ah, interesting.
Fingers crossed on that this is going to be the last part of snow that we get.
Yeah.
Oh, there's an ambulance at my old client's house.
Uh-oh.
I'm going past the fish cove where I usually get my fish.
Oh, no fish on Friday anymore.
No. I don't know what we're having tonight yet. Haven't decided.
Okay.
Well, I gained a little ground on my desktop. Had a problem for a long time because it's an HP desktop, and when it upgraded to Windows 10, had problems. There's something called a reserve partition that's, you know, like part of the operating system on the hard drive, but had a real problem connecting new things and getting it to move beyond that starting point. So I finally fiddled around. I had an IT guy in for a few hours, and then, you know, it was almost a waste. So,
Oh, that's a shame.
yeah. So the other day I said, I don't know, I had a hair cross, and I figured I'll dig in some more myself. And I found a free online app that can reshape your partitions. But you gotta be careful. You gotta be really careful.
Oh, yeah.
Just make sure it isn't malware.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, no, I got it from one of the old IT sites that I used to frequent. Anyway, was able to expand that reserve petition just enough that it accepted the latest update, which is what, 16 something, I don't know, whatever. So
nice.
I'm pleased with that. I still couldn't get my old printer to work with it. I guess I guess that's a lost cause. So
They're not expensive to buy.
yeah.
And you might want to consider a scanner.
What I did was on mine with Windows 10, it's a Fujitsu scanner, ScanSnap, and supposedly they didn't have the right the drivers that weren't being upgraded.
Right.
But I went on the internet and found out that, yeah, that's true, but there's other drivers on the newer model that works just as well on the old model. So I did that and avoided buying a new scanner.
Oh, great.
So you might check that out.
Yeah, okay, that's a good tip. I have a neat scanner, but I hate it. I at some point I'll probably have to update to Fujitsu or something. But I guess there's a couple other ones out there that are supposed to be pretty good. I don't know.
Yeah, I like mine. It's about 5 years old, still working.
Yeah.
Yeah, so mine. Mine's one of those Fujitsu snap scans, and mine's still working. It's at least 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah.
Not long older.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we've seen a few posts in passing of Seth. He's over in Israel, I guess.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's great.
What's the time difference? Do you know? What?
Must be
It's probably close to midnight or something over there.
at least half a day difference. I don't know exactly, but
Okay. Well, we wish him well. I hope he has better travel experiences than I did.
oh, well, let's hear about yours.
Mine aren't, well, other than taking the last flight out of the small airport that I was at, that was canceled.
Uh-oh.
So, yeah, going home, sleeping on the couch, or going to my daughter's home, sleeping on the couch for about 4 hours, getting up at 4 in the morning and trying again, only to be diverted west instead of north, which was the way I wanted to go.
Oh.
Right in the middle of tornadoes that were happening that day. So landed in a lightning storm and sat out on the tarmac while the lightning happened before I could take off. So
where were you? Alabama or someplace down there?
I was Alabama and got sent to Dallas.
Okay. Wow.
So, yep.
You see that website about people behaving badly on flights?
Not recently.
I think there's like Facebook pages on.
Why would they even do that? I mean.
Well, it's basically pictures that the flight attendants have been taking of people.
Oh.
Like people clipping their toenails and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, that's disgusting. I had nothing but nice people all around me.
Yeah.
And my last leg of the flight was like a packed plane. But fortunately, I had the one seat that had an empty seat beside it.
Oh, that's
so I had a little bit.
That's like hitting the lottery, right?
Yeah.
I know it is for me because I'm too fat. So. Yeah.
So sitting out on the tarmac those extra hours wasn't as uncomfortable for me as it was for some. Then my friend who's picking me up at the airport slaps a banjo in my hand and says, "Here, we have to take a picture." I'm like, "What's with the banjo? You came from Alabama with a banjo." I know. Corny.
Well, Brandon was on vacation down that way too, right?
He was at Dolphin Island. I was a couple islands or a couple beaches over from him. Spring break down in Alabama called Orange Beach.
Oh.
So does Alabama have any mountains down there? Is it pretty flat?
Where I was at, pretty flat. Pretty flat.
How was your Wi-Fi? Because it sounded like he had tons of problems with the Wi-Fi.
I didn't eat. I just unplugged entirely because they do have horrible Wi-Fi down there. Okay. The only thing that they have available is satellite, and that comes and goes.
Oh, okay.
So all I really had was my phone.
Huh.
So it was a little different.
So the satellite signals, you can't get like a steady signal with those, right?
Well, apparently wherever he's at and, whatever ground interference there is, trees, whatever in the path. He'll get it and then it'll go out. And then, it's just in and out. And that's the best they can do until they come by with cable or FiOS, which could be a really long time.
Okay.
So
Linda got a new cat, I think, right?
Oh, Linda, you're muted. Hang on a second. Let me unmute you. I muted you with that call. Okay.
Yeah, I did. I got a call. Thank you for muting me. Yeah, I did. I named her the Shadow.
There used to be a radio program.
Yeah.
So I named her after that
Yeah,
Shadow.
back in the
That's why
40s.
she's not Shadow, she's the Shadow.
Okay.
Yeah,
You'll
she's
have to
a
watch the beginning of
superhero
the
cat. She sneaks around and you say, what was that? Was that a shadow?
No, it was the Shadow.
Yeah. The shadow. And I think he used to say things like, the shadow strikes again.
Only the shadow knows.
Yeah, something
That's
like
right.
that.
I,
That's
I used to listen to that radio program. That was one of my favorites. I listened to the Lone Ranger and some other ones, but radio was a big deal when I was a little kid.
Yeah,
Oh,
back in the
absolutely,
40s.
We didn't have TV.
Right.
I had
Then
this.
we got black and white. Oh, little 12-inch black and whites. Whoa. Walter Cronkite.
Wow.
I had to sneak it, because my parents didn't, they were very religious and they didn't believe in those kind of programs. And I'd get.
Boy, they have a heart attack today.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Thank God they're resting in peace.
Yeah.
I
So
was glad my
Joanne-
father had passed away before O.J. Simpson's trial because he was an attorney and a district attorney. And I thought, oh my God, when they had that slow chase, he was probably rolling over in his grave.
Wow.
Oh,
So Joanne, Misha, is there anything you want to talk about before we go? We have a couple minutes left.
No, I'm just running crazy with my head chopped off.
Well, then you got to show us. I want to see what it looks like.
Okay, let
you
me
just
show
got
you.
your hair cut short?
I know. You got an
Oh, you
amazing
look great,
haircut.
Joanne. Oh, I love it.
Nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, it does look
I
good.
just I just had to drop something off at the post office, and I'm going to get groceries. And I had a frustrating situation with a Wisconsin tax return. When you have a W-2 that does not have any box 1 wages or box 3 wages or box 5 wages, was a sick pay, and it was non-taxable sick pay, but they took withholdings for some reason. Figure that one out.
Wow.
Why would a disability company take $150 of withholdings and have it not be taxable at all? So anyways, long story short of it, you cannot e-file a return with a W-2 that does not have box 1, box 3, or box 5 wages. You have to paper file them. So if you paper file your federal, you have to paper file your state.
Wow.
And Wisconsin does not allow you to get a direct deposit when you paper file your return. So thanks to this disability company or to the employer for not rolling it into the W-2, that my client now has to wait 10 weeks to get a refund.
On taxes that she should have never paid.
Exactly.
Right.
And she has to file to get the refund, or they keep it.
Yeah, she has to file, because I was trying to figure out, well, what if I just left it off the return? Well, then she would leave that $100 on the table.
Would
Right.
you get a CP 2000?
What's that?
Would you get a CP 2000 if you did it?
Yeah, who knows? So anyways, that's what I was stuck overnighting for, or priority mailing her stuff to her so she can snail mail a return. She goes, I've never snail mailed return before. And I'm like, I haven't snail mailed a return in a long time.
Yeah.
Send it certified mail.
Yep. Yeah, I'm going to tell her to send it all certified.
Yeah.
Didn't
Wow.
want to get lost.
So that's what I'm doing tonight.
Working still. There's no dinner on the horizon.
Yeah, I'm going to get dinner right now.
Very good.
Like I said before, I'm in the process of burying a cow.
A cow?
Yep.
Like a COW cow?
Yep.
Good.
I'll tag you, Gina.
Okay, I'm wondering how the cow died.
I don't know. I don't care, but I'm burying it.
The important part isn't the fact that the cow died. The important fact is that it got buried.
Yep.
Okay.
Very good.
But I have, let's see, I have a running list and they are numbered.
Ooh, look at that. Priority list.
Priority by date of received and what is missing and what is not. So we have 17 tax returns we are plowing through right now.
Perfect.
So I will be
Extension,
here.
extension.
Nope,
Oh, it's too early for extensions.
too early for extension.
Dennis has already filed his.
Do you charge
No.
extra for extensions?
I don't charge for extensions if they're
I
my.
don't either, because usually it's my decision to extend them.
Yeah, what I do is I have anybody who comes to me after April 1st is on extension. They know that. Anybody that's already in my office, they will get done. But somebody's got to be done on the 15th. I think that's the last thing that I'm going to do is like either that Friday before or Saturday. And then after that, it's just going to be, clean up stuff and last minute waiting for acknowledgements or, e-file offs to click the button and stuff. So.
And turn off the phone so you're not answering any more calls that day.
Oh yeah, I haven't answered my phone since February.
Can I tell you about my client that got I e-filed the return. It's like a S-Corp return. He filed it in 2015. IRS said they never got it, but I was given a receipt number, and the IRS is trying to tell my client that, well, Intuit basically said it sent to you, we never got it. I'm thinking, is that even possible?
Wow.
Have you heard something like that?
Well, I think once you get that, don't they do it by what they call dumps? They dump the information at certain times.
Yeah.
And that receipt number means that they dumped it.
Well, basically, the receipt number should be from the IRS where it's been accepted. I mean, they get a notification. I mean, with Intuit, you get Intuit's received it, Intuit's filed it, and then it's been accepted. Or IRS has received it, then it's been accepted. And once it's been accepted, you get this number, which I'm assuming is some sort of receipt number that proves it was e-filed.
Yeah.
And so I basically sent that to the client, and the IRS was saying, well, we never got it. I'm thinking that sounds like BS to me.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, well, see, with Drake, you only really get like one number. Like Drake will say it's pending,
Right.
Pending acceptance. Usually the IRS gets accepted like within literally like minutes, and then the state may take a couple more hours or sometimes a day. But once that's done, there's the acknowledgement report that you can print out with that specific number. I would think that's got to be the number that comes right from the IRS. So.
That's what I would have thought. I can't see Intuit
on the
doing
IRS site.
Either that or the number that you have is some type of internal number that Intuit has, and it wasn't actually the acknowledgement number from the government.
Isn't there something like a DCN number that?
I think it's like a DCN.
So you should be able to go on the website and look that up.
Yeah. Well, they were talking about giving her a failure to file penalty, and I'm thinking I'm going to protest that if that happens.
Do you have access to your e-filing list from Intuit?
I've got access to the transcripts. Yeah, I think I do have
Oh,
I've got something from.
Because my software, what you do is you just click in their last name or their social or whatever, and it will automatically show that form, the 9523 with all the information for federal and state, the date it was accepted, and if they paid it, and if the money came out of the account, it's like everything's like basically on like one page.
I've got something I haven't really looked at that. I mean, I get like the accepted and rejected. Usually it's rejected because of like a social number or something like that.
Right.
I mean, I know as an ERO, you are required to keep that stuff on file.
Yeah.
So I don't know what Intuit doing, Dennis. Maybe it's time for you to have that breakup talk. It's not me, honey. It's you.
Well, I think on that note, we're going to end for today.
Okay.
Any parting thoughts, anyone?
No, I'm just gonna go in and get groceries.
I will be incapacitated on from April 20th for about a week or 2 or 3 or 4.
Don't hurt your back, Barry. Don't hurt your back bearing that cow.
No, I got mad skills. I'm a honey badger, don't you know?
Uh,
I'm having shoulder surgery on the 20th, so thank God it's my left hand.
I'm always worried about, like mowing my lawn or whatever before the 15th. I'd hate to lose, have hurt my hand or do some hurt my hands.
Right.
Yeah, look, isn't that awesome?
Oh, geez.
The carpal tunnel.
You got to do what you got to do until you can't do it anymore.
That's right.
What did they do for carpal tunnel? Well, anyway.
Right here.
I said,
Can you see that?
yeah, but I'm saying, they cut in there?
See that right there?
Yeah.
You can't see the ones in my wrist, but like you can't see the one in my hand, but that one.
Yeah.
And then the middle finger, this scar right here,
Right.
and then this scar right there.
So what exactly did they do? They cut in there and do what?
He goes in and he cleans out the tunnel, the carpal tunnel.
Oh, okay.
The carpal tunnel is closed. That's why it seizes up. So he goes in and cleans out the tunnel so that it flows better.
Okay. The reason why I'm asked is I have that when I'm driving and gripping the wheel, and I don't know, for some reason I can't help myself. I grip tighter than I should,
Mm.
and I have to change hands.
Especially on 2-lane highways.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I've had issues with my hands now for a while. But this one, I broke it a couple years ago. I broke my wrist a couple years ago,
Yeah.
and then I re-injured my wrist a couple months ago, lifting water bringing it into the office, like a case of water. I hurt my back and I hurt my wrists, and the back feels better, but my wrist never really got.
Because it's abused every day, used and abused.
So I went in and he took an X-ray, and he told me that 2 of my bones are fused together, and he said that that's genetic, like that's just the way my body is. But on where my wrist is hurting me, he noticed that the space between the bones are wider than they should be.
Oh.
So for now, we're only doing bracing and some topical anti-inflammatory gel because I'm getting ready to have surgery on this hand. He doesn't want to do anything to this hand so that I can still function.
You just have to put teeth, right?
And have a good one, and then do the other one.
Yes. So last June I did this after tax season.
Yeah.
And now I'm doing this after tax season. So I have the entire summer and into the fall to recover. So I don't have issues come next January when I start tax season again.
So that's why you don't do extensions?
I did the extensions, but by the time I'm ready to do those extensions, by October, I'm better. So.
For the water, do you get anything up there that's like Peapod delivery?
There's Peapod up here, but I don't want nobody buying my groceries.
But for water, you could buy cases of water and have it delivered.
I gotta talk to my brother-in-law and be like, "Hi, brother-in-law, can you go get me some water?"
Okay.
It's cheaper than having a water bottler in the office.
Yeah.
Like I could get a 40 case of Poland Spring for like $4.99 at BJ's.
Oh wow, that's a good price.
So I'm like,
yeah.
Is it like Costco?
You just have to carry it.
Exactly. That's the only issue. And before I didn't have a problem, but now I don't have. And actually one of my clients who happens to be a longtime friend of mine, when I told him about the surgery, he's like, next time just call me and say, I'm coming to get you to go get water. And he'll do it for me. So.
Oh, nice.
That's
yeah.
great.
Nice.
That's all good.
All righty.
I'm starting a new business called House Husbands for Hire. And so these house husbands will be there to lift heavy things, shovel snow, reach things on high shelves, clean, do laundry, cook.
Hey, full employment.
Oh, I'm telling you, with benefits too.
On that note, we're going to go.
Have a good weekend,
All
everybody.
next week, same time, same place. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.